So when we talked about the Uvalde school the other day,
Yep.
um, I made it sound like kids were still going to that school. I guess that's inaccurate because they're ripping that shit down.
Well, what you said was you don't understand why they would still have kids going to that school. That shit needs to be ripped down.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Because they're ripping it down. Yeah, and that sounds about right. I mean, imagine how budget conscious you would have to be like, look, I know there was a massacre here, but things are kind of tight. We got to stop all these kids from going to these drag shows. That costs money. So we're gonna have
Right.
to leave this school up. Just kind of clean up the bloodstain and put some elbow grease in it. Your kids can stay back for extra credit to clean. How about that? If this sounds insensitive, it's because, well, I mean, like, we got look at how they're handling this thing. So
Yeah, you have to imagine, like, okay, it's easy to sit outside and say, yeah, well, there's 600 kids that go to that school. Where are you going to send 600, what is it, second, third, and fourth graders, I believe it said in the
yeah,
article. I
yeah.
don't know what happened to first grade, but that's fine. But 600, where are you going to send them? Well, where you don't send them is into the school where they possibly witnessed one of their friends or somebody that they crossed in the hallway, which is very possible, who is now dead because somebody came in and shot them to death. That's what you don't want them to relive every day of their life. Once again, grade 2, 3, and 4
Um,
specifically.
they're ripping it down and then building a new school on the same spot. They did the same thing for Sandy
And
Hook,
right.
which is like, I get it. I mean, I don't know if I would put it on the same spot. Like, I don't know if I would do that. I'd probably just it's probably like a district zoning thing. So okay, I could, if that's what it is, I get that too. But I feel like would you build a house on an Indian burial ground? Like, you wouldn't do that, right? You know those
Oh,
horror
you mean
movies?
like you mean like all the residential schools in Canada?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oops. Oops. So there's a bang. Yeah, it could be worse, is what I'm saying. In case you don't get what I'm saying, could be worse. This is the country where we live, and what has not been on the news, uh, Bill C-111, C-11 again. What's not been on the news is how many bodies have been found in these mass graves on these indigenous burial grounds where these residential schools are still operating. They're still operational because nobody knows about all this stuff going on. And if you're not Native American or Native Canadian or Native in general, it's probably not of a concern to you because it's not trending or a hashtag. But everybody who is of that Inuit, they probably know what's going on. And so that's when I say when they're building a new school on top of this school, the difference is when people walk into that building, it's not the same building that it was before. So they don't have to relive something and look at the exact same spot. You know what I mean? This is where I was, or this is when this happened. They can visualize that walking. When you build a totally new school, then that's not possible, even though it's the same land. So,
All right. At the end of the day, I'm just glad they're ripping the shit down.
I mean, yeah, that's what you wanted.
Right. So, and I just there's we're gonna have to leave this there, because really that's not the story. That's kind of a bit of a bright spot in a very, very
Read dark story.
rainy.
Yeah.
There you go. So we just wanted to highlight that. But if you follow this pod, obviously we've been following that story, and let's see what comes of that. Viewing public, what are your thoughts on this? Leave it in the comments. Your thoughts should be very straightforward. This should be a hand clap. Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Deuces. Okay.